including the multi-candidate primary to replace Democrat Henry Waxman, 18 candidates on the ballot, who is retiring after 4 decades on the Hill. At this hour, that race remains too close to call, but appears likely that Republican Elan Carr and Democrat Ted Lieu will advance to the November election. The leader last night, Elan Carr, joins me on the phone. Mr. Carr, thank you. I know it's early out in California. Tell me, in such a Democratic seat, how you wound up getting the most votes.
Chris, good morning, and it's a pleasure to be with you. Look, voters in our district here, like voters across America, are looking for real alternatives. They want to send to Washington people who can represent them and people with a record of service. And as a criminal gang prosecutor and an Iraq war veteran, I've got that record of service. And secondly, look, the issues that I've been pressing throughout this campaign, bringing jobs and economic opportunities back to California, protecting our kids and our families, and rebuilding our broken schools, is a message that's gaining traction with voters, and that's what they want to see. So I think the results speak for themselves. Our message is getting through, and the voters want change in Washington.
Now, let me provide the contrarian argument, which is more credible Democrats, there are a lot of candidates, but more credible Democrats and credible Republicans on this jungle primary ballot. This is a district that Jerry Brown won with 54% of the vote in 2010. This is a district Barack Obama won with almost 61% of the vote in 2012. How do you, in a one-on-one matchup, whether it's against Ted Lieu, who we'll be talking to, or anyone else, any other Democrat, how do you get that number of people who are Democratic-leaning to cross over and vote for someone like yourself?
2 years ago, a challenger to Henry Waxman, now this is not just anybody, this is Henry Waxman, one of the safest members of the House. A challenger to Henry Waxman got 46% of the vote on a head-to-head with President Obama on the ticket. This is 2 years later, and voters are deeply frustrated. And having campaigned now for 4 months, I can tell you that it's bipartisan. People are worried about the direction of the country. They're concerned about the future. They are passionately worried about education in America and the state of education. And then jobs. Look, we have an anemic economy for years now. And in California especially, we've been driving our businesses out of the state and out of the country. And the results are high unemployment, and particularly high youth unemployment, and people are deeply frustrated, and that's Democrats and Republicans, and they're looking for a candidate who can really represent them and bring the kind of change to Washington that we need, instead of the same, hyper-partisanship and inability to move the country forward that we now see out of Congress.
And that is Elan Carr, the Republican nominee, top vote getter in California's 33rd district. Thank you, Mr. Carr. Let's turn now to your likely Democratic opponent in the fall. State Senator Ted Lieu now joins me.